Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, we are the Airstream nerds.
It's Jeff from Airstream Nerds. I'm going to go off track a little bit today. Talk about my new toy. I know a lot of people that go camping, and a lot of campgrounds have water nearby, especially in my area. And campers like to take their kayaks with them. So a few years back, I decided I wanted to get one. But since I'm not an expert, I didn't grow up kayaking or anything like that, I wasn't going to spend the kind of money on a good kayak that I should. So one of my credit cards had a the rewards program, and I saw they had a kayak on there for like 110,000 points or something like that. So I decided that once I got to that number, I'd go ahead and get a free kayak. So finally got to 100,000 points, and I went on the rewards page, and lo and behold, they stopped the whole gift thing and turned into gift cards. So I had two gift card places I had two places where we could get gift cards that I could use for a kayak. One was Cabela's and one was Bass Pro Shops. Well, when I went to get the cards, the amounts didn't match. So I could get, for the same number of points, I could get like $500 at Cabela's or $800 at Bass Pro. So I went on Bass Pro, and I did know that I wanted to sit inside. Did not want to sit on top. I'm not necessarily a fisherman, and I also knew that I wanted a 12-foot kayak. So this option right here is the Ascend H12, as you can see right there on the side. I went ahead and picked it because it met my criteria and it wasn't costing me a red cent. I think it was $6.99 and change. Same time I also got an Ascend Ore, just because I had $800 to spend. Ended up costing me, I think, $20 total for the Ore and the kayak. So in the meantime that I got the kayak, I went ahead and got some gadgets with it. I got some grips for the oars. Makes it real nice. Keeps your hands from getting as blistered, and it also, if you keep them in the right place, it helps you remember to keep your hands in the right locations on the oars for maximum effort. I got a clip-on flag. This is like some sort of plastic nylon thing. It's not going to wear out. I got a bunch of these clips. I actually got a bunch of different sizes for different things. I do like the kayak. It's got these big compartments, unlike other ones I've seen. Now this cover pops off too, and it's just one big empty area. There's no walls between the cover places. So if you wanted, something to put your fish in or whatever, you'd have to get something to add to this one. Unlike this kayak, which has it built in, a little waterproof place you can put your fish in or whatever. But you can see the difference between a regular kayak. It's real pointy at the front. Not a lot of storage, it's mainly just for kayaking. If you guys seen some of my videos, you know I like gadgets and storage and things like that. So some of the cool options on this kayak is the rear compartment is a mesh bungee cord type thing. You've got a couple of fishing rod holes. I'm sure they've got real names. The seat comes out, and you can actually use this to sit on shore if you decided to sit and fish. Anchor your kayak or pull it ashore and sit on the shores and fish. It has cup holders that come out the sides. Now before I got the kayak, I ordered some cup holders and returned them because these are more than sufficient. And they fold right out of the way. There's handles on either end. There's a drain plug right there. The seat has this bag that attaches to the back of it. These saddlebag type things come with it. There are hooks here and here, same on the other side, and across the front that are these things. You can't really see it, but there are hooks for you to hook different things. So, like on this side, I bought a Pelican box for my phone and keys, and if I bring my wallet, and then I put a leash on it just in case. Like I said, I'm no kayaking expert, but I've read some stuff, and pretty much if you flip it over, everything that's not tethered tends to float away. I bought a cheap oar just for an in case oar. If something happens to my other oar, I have something that can get me to shore, and it was like $6-7. I have a whistle, or so you need. Some places you need some sort of noise maker. It's required for you to get in to the water there. So I've got a whistle here. Of course, I've got sunglass holders. I got a hat, bug spray, sunscreen. Definitely need that stuff. I got this oar leash. You slip this over your paddle when you put it together, and it doesn't really get in the way. But if you drop your oar or your lead or your paddle, whatever you call it, the proper term, it gets it to paddle if it's together and or if it's single. But if you drop it, this will keep it from floating away if it floats, or sinking if it doesn't. I bought a dry bag. Again, that's leashed. Haven't used it yet, but I'm going to put my 35mm in there. Just so when traveling from spot to spot I don't get wet. I bought these paddle clips. Allows me to put my paddle in there. I did have them here, but they tend to get into the way of when you're paddling. So I moved them up to the front. That's cool. These rails come with it. You have a rail on each side and a rail in the front here. Of course you need a life jacket. I didn't necessarily use the life jacket, so I know how to swim and everything, and I'm just going into like lakes and reservoirs, nothing like whitewater, nothing where I'm worried. I know how to swim, so if it gets a little rough, I'll make sure I put it on, but otherwise it just gets stowed. I just purchased a rack mounted piece for my GoPro, which I'm going to use here in a few minutes. So we're going out today. And last but not least, this kayak is 74 pounds, and that's including all the kayak stuff except for the stuff that I bought. So everything that came with the kayak, the bags and the seat and everything, this kayak is 74 pounds, which if you're in the kayaks, you realize that's pretty heavy. So in order to get this thing to shore, from my truck to the shore, I bought these wheels. Really cheap. It's simple. They sit underneath. You use a strap. It attaches. You pick up one end by the handle and you just walk it. Actually, the last time I went, I put my friend's kayak on top, and I hauled both of them from the car that way. I did pick up some of these type of straps. Now, lots of people use ratchet straps, but these are similar technology, but they use string instead of ratchets, and you don't have to ratchet, you just pull tight. Now there is a locking mechanism, so you pull a click, pull a click, pull a click, similar to a ratchet. Now again, you can only get it as tight as you can pull it, but that's pretty tight. I would definitely use a ratchet strap if I was getting on the highway and I was rolling somewhere. but just for local stuff like we're doing today, not going to do it that way. And last but not least, I started with a roof mounted rack on the XB. Did not like it, especially for the large kayak I have. So I bought this for in my truck. Now this doesn't help me on camping trips, so I haven't decided if we're going to take it camping how I'd get it there. But we are going to take it to the beach. So we go down to the Outer Banks and we can kayak on the Sound. There's all kinds of places cool down there to kayak. So just going to slide in. The bracket breaks down in 2 pieces, and you can also put this piece into the receiver, and it can be tall. So while that's not going to help me pulling a camper, it would help me if I didn't want it sticking out of the back of my camper, because I wanted to put a bunch of stuff in here. So you put a bracket up here on your truck, and then you can put your long kayak between the two. And when you put this into the receiver end here, it only comes out to here. So you should be able to put a 10-12 foot kayak across there. One little tip that I found recently is if you use the non-locking kind of hitch pins, these little pull-in cotter pin type anchor things over time will wear out, and should it go upside down, the bouncing around could make it fall out. So make sure when you put these in, natural gravity is going to cause this side to hang low all the time, which would make sure that your pin is put in from that direction. Just a little extra bit of safety. Now we're going to load up and we're going to go out in the water. I'll be right back. So I'm out here kayaking on the Occoquan Reservoir in Lake Ridge, Virginia. Of course, it's bordered by Fairfax County, Prince William County, a bunch of different places to get into the reservoir here. What's it like, 21,000 acres or something like that? It's a crazy number. But as you can see, this being that this is a fishing kayak and the edges are sharp, they're not angled like tapered like on the other kayak, you end up hitting your paddle a lot on the sides, which won't hurt anything, but you have to, in order to get a good solid stroke, you have to reach out a little bit, which I'm big and it's not that huge a problem for me, but see, for someone that's not as wide or shorter arms or a smaller person would have a little bit more effort trying to paddle. You're definitely not going to win any race with it, but I certainly have enjoyed it the few times I've used it. It's exactly what I wanted for the price I paid. Nothing. I probably wouldn't have got this big of a kayak, this wide of a kayak. The length is okay, but I probably wouldn't have got this kayak if I was paying cash for it, which is I paid $0. This is the perfect kayak for me. I'm going to put links to all the gadgets. When I bought this at Bass Pro Shops, they gave me a $10 gift card, so I ran around and I ended up trying to find some stuff. So I bought some more of these carabiners and I bought a little first aid kit that I have in the back pocket, back of the seat. Not that I need it for anything, but who knows. Also, I didn't show you I have a dock line, because I bought a small little dock line just for when we go down to the beach. When we put in it at Whalehead, there is a dock right next to a boat launch, and we can tie off and relax a little bit and go back in. Once again, this is Jeff from Fishing Nerds. See you on the next trip.